Welcome back to part 7 of creating a simple 2D platformer using libGDX. Today what we're going to be doing is we're going to be working on getting the rest of our hitboxes to work. So the left, the right, the top, and the bottom. So far we have the bottom working, but bottom's really not the bottom. It's really the full sprite. So what we're going to do is we are going to change bottom to full in 2 locations. The first in the constructor, and then in the method that we created last time, and the get hitbox, and I've already done that right there. So, going back, we need to create our 4 hitboxes. The first one we're going to be creating is the bottom, so we're going to work from the ground up. So, bottom equals new rectangle, and we're going to be going from 0 to 0 and going the full width of the sprite, and we are only going up 16 pixels high. That means when we start our left hitbox, we're going to be starting it at the left edge, of course, but we're going to be moving it up 16 pixels so it doesn't conflict with bottom. And then we are going to make it go half of the sprite and 96 pixels up. Right equals new rectangle, and the right we're starting halfway through, so 64, and we are going to make it 16 pixels up, and this is going to be the same dimensions as the left, so 64 by 96. The top of it is new rectangle, and it starts off with a 0 for the X and 112 pixels for the Y coordinate, and it's going to have the same dimensions as the bottom, so 128 by 16 pixels. Perfect. Now for hits, we want to prioritize these. We want to prioritize the left and the right before we check the bottom, and then we want to check the bottom before we check the top. The reason why we want to do this is we want to make sure we can go left before we check to see if we actually need to like jump up a little bit or not. That's why we have like 16 pixel buffer on the bottom of it, just in case we don't evenly land. It's kind of like a give me. So if you wanted to subtract that buffer, you'd actually find that you'd be less forgiving on jumps and edges. So going forward, we do if left dot overlaps are return 2. If right overlaps are return 3. And then the last one, if top overlaps are return 4. Perfect. Now for action, we're going to be using the old one. So the one that for the bottom that we ended up going last time is pretty much exactly the same thing for top. So if it's 1 or 4, then we are going to be only changing the Y coordinate, whereas if it was type 2 or type 3, we're going to do the exact same thing, but the only thing is we're going to be messing with X, not Y. So set position X bottom.y. Okay, going down a little bit further, we are going to look at this, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to fill in full. Full is the old bottom, so we can just use the same code there. Then the first thing we're going to do is we're going to do left. Left is equal to X, and the Y, since it's up 16 pixels higher than the bottom, we're going to do Y plus 16. This way it offsets it for us already. Otherwise, we're just going to draw all of our hitboxes kind of overlapping each other. That wouldn't be good. So right x equals x plus 64 because it's 64 to the left or to the right, and right dot y is equal to y plus 16 because it's 16 pixels up. Now the top x is going to be sitting at x as well, but the top y is equal to y plus 112. I'm going to hit save on that. Now we should be done with the character object. So let's go into the main game and handle the collision. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to change this if statement to a switch statement. So we're going to say switch instead, and there we go. The first one is case 1. If we run this, it should run exactly the same way as before. Let's see. Boom. See, we just landed there. Boom. And so on. So, the main point here is we're not teleporting up anymore. We're kind of walking through until we actually get to, if we land on the top. So, that's good. So, let's now handle landing on, colliding on the left-hand side of the player or the right-hand side of the block. So we do case 2, player1.action. Action is 2, and we do not care about the y coordinate, but we do care about the x coordinate. So we're going to do t.get hitbox.x plus t.get hitbox.width. Okay, so that should move our character to the very edge. We're also going to do a +1 to get him off of the edge, so we're no longer hitting the box or no longer touching the box. So coming over here, I can touch him, and if I cannot, I can no longer move further left from here, which is perfect. Makes those boxes a little bit more solid. So now what we're going to do here is we're going to hit break, case 3, and it's going to be player1.action, and it's going to be 3. We again don't care about y, but we do care about x. And in this one, we want to move the character to the left. So we need to know 2 pieces of information. First, we need to know where the starting point of the brick's x coordinate. But we no longer care about the width of the block. We actually care more about the player's width. So we're going to do player1 get hitbox dot width, and then we're going to subtract 1 to make sure we stay off of the box. So we're going to run that, and we should slide there, and then we can no longer move. So we can go this way, stop, and we go this way, and stop. We can hop on these. So there we go. Now let's keep on going. The next thing that we wanted to do is the top of it, and the little tiny glitch that you might have saw when we ran could have been dealing with this, so let's make sure that that's the case. So player1.action 4. We no longer care about the x coordinate, but we do care about the y now. So what we're going to do is we're going to get the hitbox of the brick, and we're going to find the y, and we're going to subtract the player 1's hitbox dot height. Okay. Now when we run this, this should give us, we actually stop. And if I hold down jump, I actually kind of get glued to this. So the only way I should not be able to, let's see, I can't jump through there anymore. The only way I might be able to get on top of that one is I hold on to this, and I'm kind of doing a wall climb. based off of what we're doing here. But that's the only way I can climb around these. So that's the end of this particular video. Hopefully you guys find this a little bit useful, and hopefully you're creating something amazing. So I look forward to